Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, we're going right back to the top of the Steam chart as it's Monday, and this one really jumps off the page. Now, yes, it is a network map. There's a lot of pre-built networking infrastructure in place already. If you don't like that, then just hang around for the ride, because I promise you today's show is going to be a ride. That said, the networking on this one is stunning. Absolutely stunning. You're going to love the intersections, you're going to love the layouts, you're going to love a lot about it. There will be a couple of things you won't like so much, and there's one bit of a deal breaker for me, but we'll get to that much later. Something we need to do in the meantime is maybe one of these. That's right, hitting that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day, so thanks for your support. Today's map is Seaport by Simblas. Now, we have done Simblas twice in the past, back in episodes 620 and 677. Let's have a look at that start square, shall we? You won't need to do any road laying there, will you? Yes, now they got 10 stars and 11 stars respectively on those two maps, so maybe 12 stars today. That's your terrain heights, lots of flat land across the entirety of the middle of the map. And then off to the resources, lots of ore and oil. A bit of field painting going on, but nothing that I don't think is entirely usable. And then off to the workshop. Mass transit's required, and apparently snowfall too. Stray Cats theme, Homecoming Sleigh's theme. The dark green LUT is also required, well, suggested anyway. Then you've got network extensions to some trees and some airport roads as well. Right, okay, let's have a little look. Started deep in the fog because I want to show you this intersection. This is going to set the theme for today's show, pretty much. Do you like the look of that? I hope so, because it is amazing, okay? You're going to see a lot of that today. But you're also going to see quite a few bits of things like this, like street lamp clipping, right the way through there, which means that this underpass here is probably a little bit low, probably not donut proof at all. So, oops for that one. But still looks stunning. Now, if that was the only problem with this intersection, I kind of would let it go. But it's not the only problem with this intersection. If we come down to a street level, you notice we have a pillar in the highway. Mind the pillar, mind the pillar. Well done. Good bit of driving there. And then it's not the only thing. We've also got over here somewhere. Now, where was it? On the left here. Yeah, a little bit of road glitching, where it's just elevated and it's actually a ground-based bit of highway there. But we are deep in the fog, and because we're deep in the fog, things like that, I mean, that would make the difference between being a 4-star and a 5-star map in terms of detailing, if that was all that was wrong. Yeah, it's not. But as we are deep in the fog, we'll kind of let that go over there. What we have here, though, is a drowned tree. Now, this isn't a map filled with drowned trees, but we are going to see a few. I think we might see all of them, but it's not thousands, so don't worry. You don't sweat on that one, guys. Okay, nice killer bridge going on here. In fact, all the bridges and such are excellent. There's only one thing that I would say is wrong, if you can use the word wrong for this, on this one. Notice the extra pillar there. Yeah, just what's going on with that pillar? In fact, we've got one a little bit further up as well. Superfluous pillars, maybe? Let me have a little look at move it. Yeah, we've got an extra node in there that doesn't really need to be. If you're using Electrix's road tools, Electrix's? Yeah, it's got to be Electrix's. Like a little road under there as well. That's quite nice too. But if you're using the road tools, oh, and we've got a little clipping street lamp there. Mind the street lamp. Yeah, no, they're not minding it. Fine. So yeah, if you're using that, there is a remove node option, and you can just select the node and get rid of it. What we got here is some tunnels. We're going to take the tunnels because they come out in a fun place, and also get the big reveal of the city grid there. That looks amazing. And they actually emerge in the middle of the block like that. That looks pretty cool. Excellent work. And then we're going to get some more fun, excellent work. And at first I wasn't so sure about this, but the more I look at it, the more I like it. And this is 2-tier highway that Looks like I might be struggling for the clearance there. Possibly not donut proof there, maybe. It's a bit close. I'll benefit of the doubt anyway. Oh, look at the view down here. No pillars down there at all. That is just lovely. And what I like about this one is, as you can see down here, there's room for a one-tier building under there. So maybe one of those commercial buildings that the likes of Raccoon and Lord Grunny have been churning out lately. They could squeeze under there quite nicely. Or you might have your own ideas for that. But yes, there are other creators are available. But that's the first two that spring to mind. The one-tier push-in buildings. Down this side we have the rail, so you really do have to use the opposite side off the road for building placement. Then have a look at this. Oh, and we've got a bit of blue mantle over here. Now I do have a tutorial for getting rid of blue mantle. I will try to remember to link it into the top right hand corner now. Have a little look at that, or if not, at the end of today's show. Bit of a grassy glitching going on there, and so I've got a little convoy of blue trucks. Then we've got blue mantle on the left as well, and there's a lot of this. So yes, tutorial for removing blue mantle. I've got a number of options as well. It's not one option, it's several options, and so you'll find a way. Right, okay, what was I doing? I remember I was trying to miraculously make today's asset appear, but it didn't. If I a little sneak over there, this is normally behind the scenes stuff, but I couldn't be bothered. So what we'll do then was we'll just go back into Move It and make it pop into place. Normally I do a transition, but today, no, you get to see the behind the scenes stuff. No, back down here, and then we cut, and then we merge the video back like that. Now, oh, and I wonder if we've got an asset for the day. I wonder how they miraculously appear. Anyway, down here, we take a little right-hand turn here. You might see something that might be a surprise to you. Look at that. Yes, it's the Wackerbarth Palace Radebeul set by Titan. Hopefully I got at least one of those words right. Probably Palace. I probably got sets wrong. Shall we do factoids? Because factoids, and I'll talk about this in just a moment. The highest paid pianist ever, well, certainly when the book was written, was born today back in 1860. Ignacy Paderewski earned nearly £2 million during his career, making £200,000 in just one performance in 1922. He later became Prime Minister of Poland. Good for you, sir. But anyway, yes, this particular asset, it's a set. I've never been to Dresden, so I don't know much about Wackerbarth Palace. Wackerbarth Palace even. But I've just pushed the assets together. You've got the round bit at the top, you've got the long wings, and then you've got the main building in the middle. They don't go like this in real life, but you can recreate it correctly in your own city. For me, I like it. Wackerbarth Palace Radebeul set by Titan. I can take a breath now. Whew. Getting all that in just 60 seconds is a struggle. Anyways, we'll skip back down this sunken highway. And again, look at the beauty. Absolutely, there's so much road beauty on this map. Map's beauty isn't all about beautiful terrain and great tree placements, although it can be. In this map, I think it's the roads. And while the roads will be overkill for some people, like we've got, oh, hang on, pillar placement. There should be one about there, I think. Because then there's nothing until there. It's borderline, I think. I think we probably could do an extra pillar. But yes, it is overkill for a lot of people with networking, but the networking is exemplary. Oh, hang on, that arrow would be nice if it going straight on. It's a minor thing. Just a tiny little bit of tweaking with Move It might get that arrow pointing the right way. I'm not going to do it today because there's so much going on with today's map. In fact, I could spend all day just looking at every single road and pointing out things, saying how either good or amazing or rubbish they are in some places. What we got going on over here? Is that a bit of glitching going on there? I think it's right on the borderline of road glitching. We'll let that go. It's not the worst. Definitely not the worst. But you haven't seen the worst of today's map yet. I'm saving that for a little bit later. I say you haven't. You have, but I've not pointed it out. I'm sure one or two of you may already be writing in the comments, screaming into the comments, oh look, a comedy moment. Did you lose control? Oopsie. Anyways, yes, comedy moments aside, this map does have one deal breaker, and I can now see what the cause of this deal breaker is, and it is easily fixed. But because of the nature of the show and the way that I review all maps and try and review all maps evenly and equally, it is going to result in a real heavy hit to the scores when I get to the end of the show. So prepare yourself for that. Don't worry, I'm just not being mean. I'm not being mean, but it is kind of a deal. We'll get to it, shall we? The rail. The land is quite kind of flat, which is good and easy for the rail. The rail follows a sensible route. Looks good. We got a little split there. Hang on, let's just have a little look at the catenary down here. I also have a tutorial to stop you from placing catenaries into the lines like that, so the trains crash through them. I might include that in the links. If not, just head on over to my tutorials playlist and you'll find it. It's a fairly recent one. A little bit of blue mantle squeezing out from there, where everything's been squeezed so tightly that even the rails are starting to squidge. That's very easy to do actually with the vanilla rails. If you want to avoid that, then the Railway Replacer mod, the rails there apparently don't squidge. Not that I've mastered it at all, but apparently that's the case. We've got some more catenary issues going on here with the pillars in the lines. Of course, it doesn't affect gameplay. It's just down to how much of a perfectionist are you. I think a lot of you are. Bless you. Okay, the rail, as we've seen, runs alongside the double-decker highway. Looks amazing. And then that goes into a tunnel and comes out over here somewhere. Now, in the comments, somebody does mention that this is based loosely on Seattle. So if anybody is in the Seattle area or has been to Seattle, do let me know. A bit of blue mantle under there as well. Do let me know whether you feel that this has a Seattle vibe. Another drowned tree there. That's the second. There's not that many, but there are some. And yeah, just let me know how this feels for you regarding it being a loosely based on Seattle map. Anyway, we're off to the fog now, which means it's time for that intermission. We'll come back and do the shipping.
Do your bridges look like the game's AI has gone on holiday? Would you like vanilla bridges to be proud of? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Perfect Bridges by BonBonB. Click the information button below.
And so back to Seaport by Simblas, and we have shipping routes, and they are excellent. They've got a real lovely, I mean, everything is so aesthetically lovely with all the networking on today's map, including these hidden sea routes. The only question I would ask is, as we come up to these bridges here, we've got one that dead ends over there, which is fine. And then we're going under a bridge here. Is that bridge high enough? Well, we'll be checking that out in just about 3, 2, 1 seconds. Here we go. The cruiser's coming along. Is that going to sneak under? I don't feel that it has. Yes, death to everybody on the bridge. Luckily, there's nobody on the bridge. So anyway, a bit of a fail with the detailing there. Water flow. Right, okay, those of you that want water flow in the start square, there really isn't any. We've got this bay here and it's kind of dead. There's a little bit of water motion over here. If we have a look down here, we're going downstream from here. And if we come over here, we're now going upstream from there. So it's kind of a null area around here. Very light. So if those of you that want the moving water, it's a little bit disappointing. So I'll show you something that I really like on this map, and that is these mountains. They don't need to be good on this map. These are exceptional. Really, really loving the work on those ones. The tree work on those as well. Very tidily done. I'm a big fan. I think it just adds a dramatic backdrop without being stupidly overpowering. I think it's excellent work there. Another thing I like is the fields. Okay, I don't normally go for field painting, but this is excellent. Look at the hint of the hedgerows with the trees. Just a hint. Like we've got oil and fertile land there, and then just it's left as a gap in between. So there's no resources in those squares. Probably be easier to show you actually. Let me just get rid of that. Come up to here. There you go. You can see how the resources have just not been painted into those areas, which just makes it look like hedgerows. saves on trees. It's just very, very cleverly done. Excellent work, and it just shows how good a creator Simblas actually is. Then we've got excellent tree coverage down by the river's edge as well. And then over here, we've got this island. A lot of trees on this island as well, which is indicating this is kind of like a wildlife sanctuary area. What you do on that island is completely up to you, but I think it's just so well thought out, so well created. Come down here, I think these are the only other, this is the only other 2 trees in the water on the entire map. So it's not a worst map in the world for drowned trees, but there are 4, I do believe. Then over here, or maybe 5, over here we have the Essential Lighthouse in red, 6, 7, 8, and a drowned tanker. Finding trees now. Now stop recording, I'm still seeing trees that have been drowned. Then over here we have got 1 Croaky Essential Lighthouse. The Essential Lighthouse in blue. Don't mind that one. This one over here, a matching one over here, so indicating it's a safe passage through here. Also in blue, matching one in blue. That one, that's the bare minimum you could do with a lighthouse. There's nothing wrong with it. It's out of the way. I'm not going to go crazy on that one. It's fine. And then we've got, look at this airport. Now, you can either demolish the airport and build your own, or you can leave this perfectly adequate, exceptional airport already in place and just plop down what you need. This is stunning work. Again, aesthetically, this adds so much to the map that it just distracts you from all the little problems that there have been actually within the map. Now, speaking of little problems, there is one big deal breaker. I told you about a deal breaker. And that is, if I'm looking around for it, there we go, there's one over here. This road here. This is Industries DLC. Now, I loaded up the map with the required DLCs, and which was Mass Transit and Snowfall, and the game crashed. And I thought, oh no, I haven't enabled network extensions 2, so then I reloaded it up with network extensions 2, the game crashed. And so then I loaded it with all of the DLC, and these maps appeared. So where it says Snowfall in the DLC, I do believe that is an error by Simblas. That needs to be changed to Industries. But for me, that is a deal breaker, because I've wasted a lot of time, and so will a lot of you players as well. Anyway, what do you think of the map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Okay, right, what do I think? Aesthetically, I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm so blown away by the overall aesthetic. I'm going to give this 5 stars. I know. I wouldn't normally do it, but it just feels like a 5-star map for aesthetics. Sure, there's probably more that could be done, but I don't feel it needs to be. Detailing, there are, well, it's a 4-star map, but there's too many errors for it to stay at 4. I've got to bring it down to 3 stars. It's adequate. It's more than adequate. And you'll just be spending a lot of the time just fixing little errors here and there. Gameplay potential, I would like to give this a 4-star. It probably would end up as a 3-star map because of the water flow in the start square or lack of. But then the DLC missing, that is a deal breaker. It always a deal breaker. The game is unplayable in its current format with the current DLCs as listed. It's a 1-star map for gameplay. Seaport by Simblas. I love this. Just some sloppy errors, including one on the workshop. And that has, well, I'm certain that map would have got the seal of approval. Absolutely certain, dead set, seal of approval map. Just take a little bit more care, Simblas. This is the sort of map that we want on the workshop. If you're going to have a network map, that is the sort of map that you want to have. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. Join me tomorrow for another map in the What's Map series, and there might even be a flowscape over on BonBonB 2 later. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching.